Hello, beautiful one. My name is Sarah Shirley, and I am an intuitive healer, a spiritual teacher, a channel, a medicine woman. And I help people break free from their blocks so that they can live a more fulfilling, purposeful, and authentic life. Today, I'm going to talk to you about inner child healing. This is actually one of the most powerful modalities that you can do in your healing so that you can grow and step more truly and fully into who you are. So, I'm going to talk a little bit about what it's all about, how it works, and how it can support you. So many of us, I'd say probably all of us, didn't have a perfect childhood. Some of us went through major traumas, capital T traumas like death or abuse or homelessness or different types of trauma, capital T trauma. You may have experienced that. You also may have experienced smaller traumas, little things, for example, you making a little mistake and your family laughing at you and you really internalize that. Or maybe being told messages like, why are you even doing that? One of my friends recently told me that her mother in her childhood used to tell her, everything that you touch turns to shit. And I was like, whoa, ouch. So, although you might not have experienced capital T major traumas, you may have experienced smaller ones that actually really like made big imprints on your confidence, your sense of self, and your nervous system. So, when it comes to inner child healing, there are many aspects of our inner child that could be stuck in a certain time and a certain space. For example, if you experience your family laughing at you, we'll go with that example. When you made a mistake, let's say you were 5 years old and everyone laughed at you and you felt really humiliated. So, there might be a piece of you, a piece of your soul, a fragment. It's called a soul fragment of your soul that's stuck in that time and space. Let's say you're around the dinner table on your birthday and they were all laughing at you, and that part of you stays stuck there and wasn't able to get what it needed, still feels hurt, still feels humiliated. And then that pattern continues throughout your life. So, inner child healing works in the way that we go back and connect with that part of you, that 5 year old, to meet him or her or them, to connect with them, to let the feelings fully move through so that they're not stuck anymore. They get to be processed, and to bring in love and confidence and encouragement and whatever it is that your inner child is needing. You get to bridge that relationship with your inner child. And when this aspect of your inner child is ready to reintegrate inside of you, when this aspect of you has received everything that it needs to receive, you'll be able to bring it back into your body, into your heart, and reintegrate it into your field, into your aura. And so it's very powerful work. I remember the first ever inner child healing session that I did. I met with my 2-year-old self. And I'm a Gemini, so I'm quite a talker. And my family has told me many times, even when I was 2 years old, I would talk nonstop, talk like crazy. And when I first met this aspect of my inner child, the 2-year-old, she wouldn't talk to me. She was completely silent. She was upset with me because I had abandoned her. I had left her for so long. And I had to work with her over a span of time, a period of time, to really help her feel safe, to be in my presence, that I could support her and give her what she needed. And for me in particular, around the time when I was 2 is a major capital T trauma in my childhood because my brother passed away from cancer. So I've had to work with many different aspects of different versions of my 2-year-old self who was stuck in time and space from the trauma that she experienced. If you're empathic and highly sensitive, you you could be like me, where there's a lot of instances in your childhood where you're taking on other people's pain and feeling so much and not understanding how to make sense of it because you're so young. So these parts of us, they need a lot of love. They need a lot of care. And it can be very tough and challenging sometimes to work with these parts because often they're so young. When it comes to inner child healing, the training that I've received is around the Teal Swan method of inner child healing. And it's potent and so powerful, truly. It just blows my mind how much this work has supported. And she teaches that When we're working with our inner child, we need to go back as early as possible, from the time of conception in our mother's womb until 7 years old. That's when everything is becoming formed and solidified. And the traumas that we experience in our life that are often repeating patterns, they all started before seven and younger. So when you're doing deep work, it's important to go back as far as possible to the root cause, because you may have experienced that same trauma or wound or pattern again when you're 12, 14, 16, 25, 36, like however many times. So it's very important to go back as young as possible so that you can heal the root cause. So that's a little tip and trick for you so that you can really receive the fullest amount of healing possible and that's needed. One other thing that I've learned is that sometimes these feelings can be a lot to handle on our own. And it can be very supportive to have somebody hold space for you. I've noticed in my clients and even in myself too, moments where it feels like too much to go into. We want to escape and avoid feeling. And so it can be super supportive to have space held for you so that you can be guided into staying with it and remaining present to really meet your inner child. And a big part of it is really being able to embody patience and compassion and kindness for yourself. Don't forget that we are incredible multidimensional beings. We have often, most of us, lived lifetimes, many lifetimes, some hundreds of lifetimes, and we accumulate karma. We accumulate pain and wounds and trauma. We also inherit a lot from our ancestors. And so remembering to be patient and gentle and kind with ourselves is super, super, super important. When you're doing inner child healing, one of the beautiful things that you get to do is learn to mother and father yourself. So if your parents were not able to meet your needs, which most of them weren't, let's be real and honest, like all your needs, then you get to learn how to meet yourself in those ways, to encourage yourself, to take those leaps, to speak your truth and know that it's safe, to set boundaries. You get to be the parent that you never had. Or you get to be, maybe we can change the wording a little bit. You get to be like an up-leveled version of the parenting that you had. And I truly believe this is like so incredibly potent and powerful. So I wish you so much beauty in your journey with your inner child. There's so many beautiful practices you can do, like journaling with your inner child. Imagine that you're holding them in your arms, talking to them, asking them what they need. And if you would like support and a guide to help you go deeper into healing your wounds from your childhood so that you can actually break free from them and live fully as yourself in this lifetime, then feel free to reach out. You can connect with me and we can have a little chat about how I can support you on your path. Sending so much love and many blessings to your inner child. See you next time.